Morning, fellow zombies. It's 18 after midnight. It's the 21st of September 2023. Yeah, sleep deprived and emotionally screwed up. The zombie Weaver John C. Roseman, California. Yeah, no triggers yesterday except wore myself out. I had forgotten that the dialer ride system we have out here depends upon reservations. And assuming that I actually had a reservation is a bad thing. You still have to verify whether or not if you actually got rides or not. In my case, I didn't get it, and I had to walk my feet off, my back off, and the rest of my body off. About a mile and a half from home. You see, out here, we don't have transportations like other people would. Ubers and Lyfts, you had to wait until they come into town, or if they are available in town, and they're hardly ever. And dial ride system is part of the current transit system that we have. They're managed by an outside entity, but they are still part of current transit, which is part of the county operation here. And they do require reservations on their local routes. You wake up, you need to get someplace. You hope that you call up fast enough and pray that you got a reservation early and a good time slot for you to go. And then maybe about an hour or 3 hours if you're lucky, that you got enough time to take care of whatever you got to take care of halfway across the town so you can get back home. Some of us are actually dependent upon that. If not, we have a long way to travel. Laterally in this town, it sucks because everything is about a couple of miles away from my home. The only things I got close enough is a small liquor store that's about 700 yards away. And that's it for food, and water, and little basic supplies off the shelf. And also out of a refrigerator unit. If I want ice cream, I get that. If I want milk or sodas or canned goods, pasta, canned fruits and vegetables or sauces, got that too. If I want junk food like chips and crackers, I got that. So, and yes, if I wanted to get drunk again or go down that path, yeah, it's out there. It's out there, and I got a lot of it, but I don't go for it. It's only the small grocery section I would. Now, since we do have DoorDash, that means we have dedicated people who make money, who get percentages. If you're going to be getting groceries, let's say out of Albertsons across town, you use the DoorDash app or go online and make your orders. And then within about a half an hour or 45 minutes, depending, you get your groceries. And this was needed during the pandemic. But afterwards, it's more of major convenience at this point and almost reliance. Even though I could go over to the liquor store and get some of the stuff I want, I'm going over to Albertsons to get the stuff I need for about every 3 or 4 days. So much for the personal touch that and the personal connections I made with the liquor store there, Mini Mart. But I want to become totally dependent upon a DoorDash. I don't have to leave home every 3 or 4 days. Make the order of the groceries that I'm going through, and I've got my stuff. I can tell you that when you're dependent, or actually made yourself dependent into this kind of situations, that as I had. Emotionally, it's just a little too hard to go into a store these days to really grab the stuff that you need. And I don't keep up with the relations as I should. I mean, what's walking 700 yards from home to a liquor store? The usual habit I do, I get out there early in the morning when it opens up, and then talk to them, chat, watch for everybody else trying to get their little groceries or their liquors, and then they go. A way of keeping in touch with people, I guess. But my behaviors have changed a great deal over the past months, several months actually. Where I'm not able to keep up or keep track of what's going on these days. Yeah, the behavior sucks. Just to let you know. Sometimes people say, "Well, why don't you just change your behavior? Just make the decision now." Yeah. Easy enough to make the decision. Carrying it through is a different story altogether. I didn't want to go. I think I've gotten too used to doing DoorDash a lot that going to the local liquor store, I guess it's becoming harder and harder for me to do emotionally though. I had great relations with them, and I love those two guys that works over at the liquor store, Ray and Bill. Ray, man, as I call him, these guys are from the Middle East. The loveliest, sweetest guys I've met, friendliest, and they've been through a lot. And they're good friends with each other. They got no qualms with each other that I've heard of. And I miss them. At times I miss going over there and just shooting the shit with them. And it sucks trying to use DoorDash all the time for a substance. DoorDash will get me anything as long as I got a contract with that particular vendor. Albertsons is mostly for their food. And if I wanted fast food craving, there's not that much of it out here in Roseman. There isn't. We got a few fast food places. Yeah. Taco Smell. McGrumbles. We've got a few pizza joints that are hooked up with it. We've actually got maybe a couple of, let's see, one bar that actually does offer restaurant food. And the other one, people can't stand as much, but some people could try standing and stomaching. No Oriental. Very limited on the Mexican. There's not that much activity out here in Roseman for people to get variety. They have to use other services to go outside the boundaries to get different choices and pay probably a little higher. Because out here, it's just not that. It's just not that convenient. Getting back to the dialerite situation. Said before, Roseman is spread out laterally. I mean, we're not spread out north and south. We're spread out as far as east to the air base, and as west as we can actually grow, growing new homes. And most of the businesses are basically in the center of town. For some who are actually physically fit enough, I mean, hell, they could hump their stuff. Basically walk from place to place. Those of us who are got medical issues, we have to depend upon Dial-A-Ride and DoorDash. DoorDash for the fast food and then the groceries. And we had to depend upon Dial-A-Ride to get us to one place or another. No reservations means you have to hump it, which means we have to use our feet and their legs, which kind of sucks. Being dependent upon other people waiting upon you. One almost kind of forgets the muscle memory of what it was like to walk those distances. Now, me going 2 miles just to get groceries sucks. But if I wanted to get fresh fruits and vegetables and not canned stuff, that's the only place. Well, there's another place to get them, but it's still the same distance. I would still have to hump it. A lot younger and sprayer man would be able to do it. These days I'm old and broken down. It's just sometimes it gets harder and harder to wake up in the morning and realize that you're not as young as you used to be. I'm not. I'm discovering that more and more. Politics seems to be the only thing out there that tries either to keep a person alive or mutated mentally. And I know there was a lot of things happening yesterday, but I just hadn't picked up on it. I'm just feeling the wear and tear right now as I wake up. I'm wondering what the hell I'm up this early in the morning for, and I'm not that tired just yet, but my body will put me back to bed yet. It was crazy yesterday. I walked it all the way over 2 miles to bus stop. I mean, we got a mile and a half, and then another extra half mile or more to get to. How the bus ride worked on this one. The transit would, the 250 would normally pick people up over at Eagle Way and Roseman Boulevard area. That's the first line for both Route 100 and 250. And this is going to be going southwards, southbound. And the second stop would be what we call Hummel Hall. So I think Center and 20th. Roseman. Senior Center with a bus stop outside. Now, if the bus is not all that packed, one could try getting a seat while one waits over at Hummel Hall. But if one wants to get a seat earlier than that, one has to go to what they call the Taco Bell area, because right in that area is a Taco Bell on the corner of Eagle and Roseman Boulevard. And that way I'm able to get a seat to get to school. There have been times when before my health really started to take a turn. I was actually able to stand in the middle, stand close to the uh, bus driver, but not too close because of a barrier area. And shoot the shit or just hold on for dear life and just watch. Just hang on until the bus completes its freeway run and gets into the streets of Lancaster. First stop is about June 25th. And at the Coal Valley Central area, because we have restaurants, we have uh, stores in the area, major shopping hub, major transit hub. Because from there we got another bus route over there that will take other people to different areas. I mean, they try to be interconnected. And then, after the bus does this June 25th, I'll head over to ABC, Antelope Valley College, my stop. Continuing on, just head out down on K. I mean, Antelope Valley's on J 30th. Between J and H8, I think. But still on 30th Boulevard. And that's usually my stop during the school years. But it's also got a transit stop that I could take to get me over to other places. And while the current transit does its circulus route, stops over at the Antelope Valley Hospital. And after that, heads over to Metrolink, Lancaster. Senior Center, where there's our major transportation hubs. After that, it'll stop right there, wait for a few hours, head back over to J and 25th, wait, and start its route again. This time for pickups, starting from J and 25th, Antelope Valley Antelope Valley College, Antelope Valley Hospital, Metrolink, Senior Center, and then go home. Northwards. And the 100 will do the same thing. I didn't pick the routes. Current Transit did. Senior Center is a drop-off, but also a pickup area. But it's the last end. It's like telling Charlie. So this is the kind of route I'm used to. If I want to go any traveling in Lancaster or beyond that, I'll probably get off of Metrolink to take a train somewhere else, or if I want to take a bus to go through Lancaster all the way to Palmdale, say for example, if I actually had to burp my ass on that one, I could do it. There's a route for that one on Antelope Valley Transit Authority. So there are ways of getting around town. There's ways of getting around this valley. As long as they're in the daytime and during a weekday, it's almost no problem. During the weekend, forget it. And that's the gist of transportation around here anyway. At least out in LA County, they also have access for the handicap. Access is part of their own transportation thing going on in LA County where handicapped senior citizens can actually reserve a ride from one point to another point. We have access system out here for Antelope Valley. We also have an access system that goes right through Santa Clarita, Valencia area. And one goes through San Fernando Valley in LA, city of LA. But they're all LA County. they have their own little sections, and sometimes they can go long distances if they can. Technically speaking, if they can, I mean, can take access system from one part of LA County over to the Northern California area. They could. That didn't happen. Other than that, my body's still recovering, and so is my body. I'm just basically doing a log at this point. It's just some things to talk about besides the politics happening these days. So it's nothing new happening except new assignments to take care of. There's a math test coming up Monday. There's a presentation happening that I had to put off until Monday. Oh, that's going to be fun. But there is one presentation I'm not doing. If I could, I would. If the teacher will allow me to. I mean, theoretically, it should have been done, but if she'll just take the submissions, and that's about it. Stuff I've been working on. I mean, I worked on the formal stuff now, just did creative stuff, and hope I get extra credit for it. I was concerning about the PowerPoint presentation being turned into Google Slides, which sucks. I like the PowerPoint because I was getting used to the special effects on it. And Google just doesn't have what I need. I'm sorry, unfortunately. But I was going to be featuring this, which I carried with me today. Actually, yesterday. Yeah. Him again. Hang on. There you go. I hate to tell Emma over at Emma Cruises that we didn't do our presentation in front of the class. It would have been an advertisement for it all. I didn't. But the other presentation I think is going to be a lot better because we dealt with a topic yesterday. I was close to it. We were dealing with a section in our books about deception, lying. And they were crossing into my territory of my presentation that I didn't get a chance to do yesterday. We had an auditor coming in, actually the dean of our English department. I didn't even know who or what that person was. Just another strange person walking through, listening for about 20 minutes and then left. Just left. No audits done. That's kind of weird. We'll be doing the audits at the end of term. But it's usually at the end of term that we get the audits, not in the almost midterm. So, but I can at least honestly tell her that the teacher is impressed with the formal work, but with the creative work, that would have been something to tell that class about. If it's going to be allowed, I hope it is. Maybe I can do it too. But she's already got some plans for it, so we'll see what happens. But it would have been something. Would have been something. Anyway.